The sky over Valar was on fire. Explosions shook the ground. Tall white towers crumbled into dust. Screams filled the air as people ran through broken streets. Ships crashed from the sky like falling stars. The enemy was everywhere. Black machines. With no mercy, no emotion. Zorak, High Envoy of the Gluvian Coalition, stood inside the last command bunker deep under the capital. His silver skin was covered in ash. His voice was hoarse. His world was dying. He slammed a shaking hand on the control panel. "Send the signal, now." His second-in-command hesitated. "But, to Earth, sir? It's been silent for 300 years. No one knows if it even—" "Send it," Zorak shouted. "We've asked every ally. No one came. If Earth is still out there, we have no choice." The comms officer pressed the command. A bright pulse of energy left Valar's core station and jumped into space, moving faster than light. It carried one short, clear message. "Help us, please, anyone. Earth, if you hear this, we are dying." The room went silent. They waited. Everyone knew Earth never responded. They were ghosts, myths. Some said they'd destroyed themselves. Others said they left the galaxy. Minutes passed. Then, beep. The signal officer looked up, eyes wide. We got a reply." Zorak turned sharply. "Repeat that." "It's a reply from Earth. 4 seconds after our signal. That's impossible." Zorak ran to the screen. A voice played, calm, steady, almost cold. "Assistance confirmed. Arrival. 6 hours. Prepare to receive." Then nothing. Everyone stared at each other. "Who sent it?" one officer asked. "No idea," the comms officer whispered. "It didn't come through normal channels, no ID, no signature, just Earth. Just—" Zorak stared at the screen. "Is this real? Are they coming?" The officer nodded. 6 hours. That's what they said. 6 hours later, the fires still burned, but the skies had grown quiet. The enemy had paused, maybe confused, maybe watching. Zorak stood outside the bunker now, looking up. Then he saw them. Not one ship. Not a fleet. 3. 3 ships, shaped like arrows made of night, silently appeared above the city. They made no sound. No lights. No marks. They moved as if space itself bent for them. The soldiers of Valar stared. No one moved. No one knew what to expect. Then the ships landed, without noise, on a wide, empty field near the ruins of the old university. A ramp opened. Shadows stepped out. Humans. But they didn't look like the ones from the old data files. These humans wore black suits, no symbols, no names. Their faces were calm, cold, their eyes sharp. One of them, taller than the rest, stepped forward. He looked at Zorak. Zorak walked carefully, trying not to show fear. "You received our call?" he asked. The human nodded. "Who sent you?" Zorak asked. The human paused. Then he said, "Nobody." Zorak blinked. "Then, why are you here?" The human's eyes narrowed. "Because we heard the scream. Across the planet, the humans didn't. Wait." They moved fast, silently, precise. They spread out across the ruined capital. But they didn't carry weapons. At least, not visible ones. One walked into a hospital and restored full power in seconds. Another rebuilt a water system in half an hour, and when a group of enemy machines returned heading straight for the bunker, the humans met them. No gunfire, no noise. Just a flash of blue light, and every enemy vanished. Gone. As if they'd never existed. Zorak watched from the bunker's cameras. What kind of weapons are those?" No one could answer. Later that night, the human leader, who called himself Commander Hale, stood with Zorak near the ruins of the old palace. Zorak looked at him carefully. "You don't ask for thanks. You don't even ask for information. What are you?" Commander Hale stared at the stars. "You sent a signal. You asked for help," he said simply. "So we helped." Zorak frowned. "But Earth went silent. Why now? Why return? The human turned to him slowly. You think we left? We didn't. We were watching, waiting. For what? Zorak asked. Hale's voice dropped low. To see who remembered us, to see who deserved us. Zorak's breath caught. And do we? Commander Hale didn't answer. He just turned and walked away. Final scene. Unknown. Location high above the galaxy, inside a black station with no name. A figure watched a glowing screen. The Earth signal had gone out. The response had been sent. And now humans had landed again on a galactic world. The figure leaned forward. They heard the scream. He whispered. Then he smiled. Let the galaxy remember. Valar was quiet again, but it wasn't peace. It was the kind of silence that came after a storm when everyone was too scared to speak. Zorak walked through the broken halls of the Capitol Tower. Behind him, his officers followed, whispering quietly about the humans. The stories were spreading fast. They made the enemy vanish without firing a shot. They healed entire cities without medicine. They fixed power grids that hadn't worked in decades. Zorak had seen it himself. But something still bothered him. Who were these humans? He stepped into the old war room where Commander Hale waited. The human stood near a screen watching old galactic records scroll by. You've been silent since you arrived, Zorak said. No demands, no questions, not even your flag. What are you really doing here? Hale didn't turn. He spoke while watching the screen. You think this is about saving your planet? Zorak blinked. Isn't it? Hale turned now. His expression was calm, but something cold hid behind his eyes. No, he said. This is about remembering. Zorak didn't understand. Remembering what? Hale stepped closer. The galaxy erased us. They buried the truth. But your scream reached us. That changed everything. Far from Valar. Inside the human ship's private Aaron, one of Hale's soldiers walked through the ship corridors. Her boots made no sound on the smooth black floor. She passed by a room where other soldiers sat, watching old recordings. Videos from before Earth went silent. One video showed the Galactic Council centuries ago. Aliens laughing. Humans walking out of the hall. Then, Earth's signal going dark. Aaron paused. She remembered her training. Humans had once been part of the Galactic Alliance. But then came the silence. Earth had disappeared. No messages. No answers. But inside Earth, something had changed. They had gone dark on purpose. They had waited, evolved, hidden. They forgot us, her instructors had said. Now let's see what they do when we come back. Back on Valar, a secret meeting in a dark room below the Capitol. Zorak met with his closest officers. I'm grateful for the help, he said, but we know nothing about them. We called for aid, not judgment. General Theb spoke first. They're too quiet, too precise. Their technology is beyond anything in the galaxy. That scares me. Do we really think they came just to help us? Another officer asked. Zorak looked down. No, I don't think they came for us. I think we reminded them of something. The room went silent. Then Zorak whispered, something they lost. Commander Hale, Flashback Hale, stood alone in his private quarters. He placed a small device on the table. It played an old sound, a child laughing. Then a voice. Daddy, when are you coming home? He closed his eyes. That voice was gone now. Taken during the fall of Earth's outer colonies. He had joined the Shadow Division soon after. No flags, no uniforms, just silence and purpose. The mission was simple. Never forget what they did to Earth. The new mission was clearer. Remind the galaxy that humans still remember. The first strike 3 days after their arrival, the enemy returned. This time they sent their largest machines, massive walkers the size of buildings. Plasma cannons charged. Their plan was simple. Erase Valar completely. The humans didn't run. Commander Hale gave one order. Show them. From all three Earth ships, black pods launched. They didn't explode. They landed. Then they opened. Inside were no soldiers, no drones, just silence. But as the enemy approached, the ground began to shake. The enemy's plasma cannons powered down. Their targeting systems failed. Their legs stopped moving. Then, collapse. Every machine hit the ground, lifeless. Zorak watched in shock from the Capitol. "What did you do?" he asked Hale over comms. Hale's voice came through steady. "We reminded them we're not like before." The Council reacts far across the stars. In the golden chambers of the Galactic High Council, an emergency meeting was called. The news was impossible. Earth had returned. Ambassador Kryn of the Zelvari slammed her claws on the table. "This is dangerous. We exiled them for a reason." The leader of the council, Grand Seer Valtrex, looked at the screen showing Hale's face. "They were forgotten," he said quietly. "Now they remind us." Another ambassador whispered, "We mocked them. We erased their history. What if they haven't forgiven us?" No one answered, because no one believed they had. Hale and Zorak. Truth revealed. That night, Zorak visited Hale in the old observatory. He brought a bottle of Velari crystal water. A gift. Hale didn't touch it. "You're still watching us," Zorak said. "Every move we make." "Yes," Hale said. Zorak looked at him. "Why us? Why Velar?" Hale stepped to the window and stared at the stars. "Because this was the last world that stood with Earth and before the fall." Zorak froze. "What fall?" Hale turned slowly. "You don't know the full truth. None of you do. Earth didn't vanish. It was erased. By the ones you now call allies." Zorak's breath caught. "They destroyed our cities, burned our records, laughed as we begged. And when we disappeared, they told you we did it to ourselves." Hale's eyes burned now, not with rage, but pain. "You didn't know. That's why we came for you." Zorak spoke quietly. "And the others?" Hale stepped past him. "They'll remember next." The next morning on Vehlar was colder than usual. Clouds hung low over the burned cities. People were returning to the streets, but they walked quietly. Like ghosts, everyone had seen the footage. Human ships floating above the capital. Enemy machines. Falling without warning. No sound. No explosion. Just collapse. And then the Earth soldiers walked through the smoke like they had done it all with a whisper. But one thing unsettled the people even more. No one smiled. Not the humans. Not even when they won. Zorak's emergency call. Zorak stood in front of the global broadcast tower. "Begin transmission," he told his technician. A few seconds later, his face appeared across every screen on Velar. "People of Velar, you've seen what the humans can do. They came when no one else did. But now, we must ask, why?" He took a deep breath. "Commander Hale told me the truth, about Earth, about the betrayal. We were not told what really happened when Earth vanished centuries ago. It wasn't silence, it was a scream. Ignored." Zorak paused. "We forgot them. And now we must ask ourselves, what is the price of forgetting?" Flashback. 174 years ago, the Galactic Council Hall. A younger Zorak sat among junior diplomats. Earth's ambassador stood before the council, wounded and desperate. "Our colonies are being attacked," he said. "Our people are dying. We need help." The Zelvari, the Cretan, even the Wasari, all major powers, refused. "You humans have always been emotional," one said. "You exaggerate threats," Earth pleaded. But the council turned away. Within weeks, Earth went dark. And the council told everyone they destroyed themselves. Zorak had believed it. Everyone did. But now, standing next to Hale, that memory felt like poison. Inside the human ship, the hidden room Private Aaron followed Commander Hale into the Red Chamber. This was the one room sealed from even their own officers. The door hissed open. Inside, soft red light revealed rows of glass cylinders. Each one held something different. Broken items, Old uniforms, shattered metals, pieces of destroyed human ships, all labeled, all marked with coordinates and dates. One showed, Earth Colony 07B destroyed by Allied Council ships, Cycle 993 errands. Hands tightened into fists. These aren't just relics, she said. Hale nodded. They're evidence. She turned to him. Why haven't we released them yet? He looked at her. Because when we do, everything changes. An unwanted guest and alien ship approached Valar quietly. It bore the symbol of the Galactic Council. They didn't come to help. They came to warn. A tall, white-skinned Wasari stepped onto the platform where Zorak waited. You must release them, the alien said. They don't belong here. Zorak crossed his arms. They saved us. The Wasari's voice was cold. They are dangerous. Earth was removed for a reason. They were erased, Zorak replied. Because the Council couldn't control them. The alien leaned close. They hold grudges, Zorak. And this is just the beginning. Hale's secret plan that night, in the command bridge of the lead human vessel, Hale opened a secure channel. Only one person answered. A woman with silver eyes. Status? She asked. We have local support, Hale said. Zorak suspects more now. Good. She leaned forward. Do they understand what the Council did? Hale shook his head. Not yet, but soon. They'll all know. She gave a sharp nod. Phase 2 begins in 48 hours. The screen went black. Phase 2. Memory bomb. The next day, a strange object was dropped from orbit. It didn't explode. It didn't make a sound. Instead, it broadcasted. Across Valar, on screens, datapads, walls, holograms, images appeared. Footage of Council ships attacking unarmed human colonies. Aliens laughing as humans burned. Young Earth children begging for help. Then voices. Council members lying to the galaxy. Cover-ups, edits, fake news, all caught on old preserved files. Zorak stood frozen as he watched. The galaxy had lied. The Council had killed Earth, and they had all believed it. The riots begin in Valar's southern cities. Protests erupted. How much of our history is false? People shouted. We trusted the Council. And on back channels, other planets were watching. Quietly, closely. Some were afraid. Some were angry. But a few began to whisper, if Earth survived, maybe others did too. The Council's panic back in the High Council chamber. Panic spread. The Wasari ambassador shouted, they're releasing forbidden archives. The Zelvari leader slammed a claw on the table. They will break the galaxy apart. Grand Seer Valtrek stood silently. He finally spoke. They are not just humans anymore. They are a memory. With teeth. He turned toward the stars. And we forgot how sharp those teeth are. The galaxy once abandoned Earth. When humans cried for help, the Galactic Council ignored them, and Earth went silent. Now, centuries later, Earth has returned. But it hasn't come to beg. It came to remind. And what it brings is truth. Opening, scene, galaxy in shock. News of the memory bomb spread like fire. From trading moons to distant colonies, the hidden truth about Earth's erasure was now public. Civilian feeds showed brutal old videos, Council ships burning human homes, ambassadors silenced, Earth screams ignored, and behind every memory, the face of a child, crying, alone, forgotten. Reactions came fast. Some planets shut down their networks, fearing rebellion. Others, like Valar, stood still in silence, realizing their whole history was a lie, and in the shadows of space, Earth's warships drifted, watching, waiting. Inside the human ship, the Black Room commander Hale walked into a sealed chamber. Red lights pulsed, monitors blinked. A man waited for him. General Kale, a face from the old Earth Wars, scarred, sharp, cold. Status? Kale asked. Hale saluted. Phase 2 complete. The truth is loose. Kale nodded. And Phase 3? Hale hesitated. We still have time to hold it back. Kyle's eyes narrowed. They left us to die. Their time's up. He handed Hale a chip. Deliver this to the central comms tower on Valar. If they don't cooperate, you send the final proof. Hale stared at it. You're sure? Kale's voice was steel. If they feared truth, wait till they see what we remember. Zorak struggled back on Valar. Zorak sat alone in his private chamber facing a wall of screens. Footage of burning Earth colonies repeated over and over. He could no longer look away. Aides entered in panic. The Council demands an answer. They say you're siding with Earth. Zorak didn't move. One whispered, Sir, if we protect the humans, we risk war. He stood. If we don't, we become like the ones who let them burn. The aides fell silent. Zorak turned toward the landing bay. I'm going to speak with Hale, alone. Face to face, Hale and Zorak. The hangar echoed with cold wind. Zorak walked in. Hale was waiting near a shuttle, arms crossed. They looked at each other. For a moment, no words. Zorak spoke first. I saw the children, I saw the fires. Hale nodded. We kept the proof all these years, every scream. Zorak stepped closer. Why now? Hale's face was calm. Because you asked for help. Zorak's voice cracked. Are we just the first or the last? Hale looked up at the stars. You're the only ones who didn't turn us away this time. Zorak's face changed. This time? The truth that burns. Hale gestured to a screen. A feed played, planets erased, not by war, but by silence. We've been helping others secretly, worlds who are hunted, forgotten, left behind. Zorak watched images of humans saving planets without being seen. Some aliens worshipped them as ghosts. Some never even knew. Zorak whispered, You became shadows. Hale turned to him. Because light betrayed us. Council's threat that. Same moment. A message arrived from the Galactic Council. A projection appeared in Zorak's office. Grand Seer Valtrek stood tall, cold, unreadable. If you allow the humans to stay, Valar will be declared a rogue system. Your trade, your air routes, your food imports all shut down. You will be alone like Earth once was. The screen blinked off. Silence filled the chamber. Zorak's decision. Zorak returned to his command room. Officers waited for orders. He looked out at the planet, then turned to them. If the price of truth is isolation, then let us be alone. But we will not be blind again. Send this to the Council. Valar remembers Earth. Valar remembers everything. He turned to his crew. Prepare defenses, and send a message to the human fleet. We stand with them. Earth's final card, the Whisper weapon. Meanwhile, in the orbiting flagship, Hale walked into the vault. There it was. A dark, silent pod. The Whisper weapon. It wasn't designed to destroy planets. It was meant to erase memory. To delete lies. To wipe false history clean. Do we deploy it? An officer asked. Hale stared at the activation panel. Not yet. Let the truth burn first. Earth once begged for help. No one came. Now the galaxy watches as Earth returns, not with pleas, but with proof. The forgotten truth has been unleashed, and it's changing everything. But as new allies rise, old enemies begin to stir. Opening. Scene. Whispers across the stars. The galaxy was no longer silent. Dozens of planets were talking, openly, loudly, dangerously. Some praised Earth for its strength, others feared what it would do next. But far away, in the dark systems, some watched in anger. The planet Drazen 5, home of the Sindel, lit up with war symbols. The Sindel had once fought humans during the old days, and they remembered how Earth nearly wiped them out. Now, seeing Earth's return, their leader, Vurok, the Iron Voice, slammed his fist on the table. The ghosts are back and fools are welcoming them. It's time we finish what we started. Back on Valar, a growing alliance, Inside the Grand Hall of Valar, Zorak stood beside Commander Hale. Representatives from other mid-tier planets were arriving, curious, cautious, but listening. One spoke up. "Why should we side with Earth? You have warships but no army, no power." Hale stepped forward and tapped his wrist device. A hologram appeared. Footage showed Earth ships rescuing a burning colony from a pirate siege without asking for reward. Another showed humans pulling children from wreckage on Ura Prime, then vanishing into space. Hale looked them in the eye. "We've already saved more worlds than the Council ever did." Silence. Then the Sarn diplomat spoke. "If Earth stands with us, we stand with Earth." More followed. The alliance was forming. Inside Earth's flagship, the secret chamber general, Kale stood in a sealed command room deep in the ship. He faced a glass wall where something massive and dark rested behind reinforced glass. An AI spoke. "Project Warden is stable. Not yet activated." Kale narrowed his eyes. "If the Sindel move, release it." The AI pulsed. "Are you certain?" Kale didn't blink. "If they want the old war, they'll get a reminder. The Sindel strike without warning. A Sindel. Warship jumped into Valar orbit. No warning, no message, just weapons charging. It fired on one of the Council satellites. Boom. Alarms screamed across the city. Zorak ran to his command post. "Shields up. Prepare countermeasures." Hale stepped beside him. "You were right, we're not the only ones watching." A second blast rocked the outer ring of Valar's orbit. Zorak shouted, "They're testing us. They want fear." But the Sindel made one mistake. They fired at the wrong ship. Earth answers. The blast hit a disguised Earth cruiser. One carrying civilians Earth had secretly rescued from past wars. The ship split. Screams echoed through emergency channels. Hale's calm voice cut through the chaos. "Permission to return fire?" Zorak nodded. "Do it." Earth ship uncloaked. Black. Silent. Deadly. It didn't fire lasers or missiles. It launched a memory pulse, a weapon that overloaded the Sindel ship with its own forgotten crimes. Inside the enemy ship, Sindel warriors screamed as past images flooded their minds. War crimes, burned villages, crying families. They dropped their weapons. Fell to the floor. The ship shut down, powerless. Backlash across the galaxy. The event was caught on satellite feeds. The galaxy now knew. Earth didn't just fight with weapons. It fought with truth. Some called it beautiful. Some called it terrifying. The Council called it illegal psychic warfare. Council moves to respond. The Galactic Council held an emergency session. The Grand Seer shouted across the room. "Earth is a threat to the order. Its technology breaks every law." One ambassador whispered, "But their tech isn't new. It's just honest." Still, the Council made a decision. A bounty was declared. All Earth commanders are now targets. Their ships are to be destroyed. The order spread fast, but so did resistance. Planets begin choosing sides. Some planets shut their gates to Earth. Others opened them wider. Small systems, ignored by the Council, joined the New Earth Alliance. They called it the Remembered Coalition. Valar, Sarn, Ura, Kalari. Even rogue pirate worlds began to swear allegiance, because for once, someone was exposing the truth, and they didn't want to be forgotten next. Zorak's confession late that night. Zorak sat with Hale in a quiet tower. He looked tired, heavy. He whispered, "I once served on the Council's youth mission. I saw Earth's cry for help. I did nothing." Hale listened, eyes still. "I told myself it wasn't my choice, that others would act. But I knew. I was there." Zorak shook his head. "Now I carry that shame." Hale leaned forward. "You still carry it, which means you're not like them. This fight is not about revenge. It's about remembering." Zorak's eyes watered. "Then I remember everything." Earth returned, not as a beggar but as a force. It showed the galaxy the truth it had forgotten. It built a growing alliance of the unheard, the silenced, the ignored. But now the old enemies rise. The Sindel, masters of fear, launch their war, and the galaxy must decide: stand with Earth, or stand in the way. Opening scene: smoke on Valar. The sky over Valar burned orange. Wreckage floated in low orbit. Thousands of citizens looked up, not in fear anymore, but in readiness. In the central square, Zorak stood tall, armor strapped tight. Beside him stood Commander Hale, silent, scanning the incoming feeds. Ships were arriving, not just Sindel, but Council war cruisers, rogue mercenary bands, and assassins for hire. They were coming together to destroy Earth's truth. Zorak spoke softly. They won't stop until the past is buried again. Hale replied, then we won't stop until it's carved in stone. Across the stars. War begins, multiple systems lit up with battles. Earth's allies were attacked. Sarn colonies were bombed. Ura's medical stations were destroyed. Small rebel fleets were surrounded by council hunters. Everywhere, one message. Played on repeat from enemy ships, and forget Earth, forget the lies, forget the pain. But no one forgot anymore. They remembered too much, and that memory had turned to fire. Inside Earth's flagship, the final weapon. Stirs deep inside Earth's command ship, General Kale stood before Project Warden, still locked behind its barrier. Gave the activation order. Release it. Alarms beeped. The AI spoke. Warning, full deployment of Warden will alter galactic cognition permanently. Kyle's voice was cold. Do it. The chamber opened. A massive black machine rose, not a weapon with guns, but a memory engine, built from Earth's deepest archive satellites, designed not to destroy ships, but to restore truth to entire species. A new fleet arrives out of. A sudden wormhole came the remembered fleet. Ships painted in Earth's old flag. Others bore no flag at all, just signs of forgotten cultures Earth had saved long ago. At the front of the fleet was the Sarn Queen's flagship. She opened a universal transmission. The past is not shame, it is strength. We remember Earth. Her fleet fired first. The war had started. Battle over Kalari Kalari was the first open battlefield. The Council sent 3 dreadnoughts. Sindel warhawks joined with cloaked cruisers. Earth's fleet responded. But they were outnumbered. In the sky, chaos raged. Lasers, explosions, ships crashing into one another. Inside a burning shuttle, Commander Hale and Zorak led ground troops. Every step forward was blood and fire. But Earth's soldiers were different. They didn't just fight with guns. They played the truth. Every time they pushed forward, they launched memory beacons. Locals hiding in caves saw Earth's old history, of betrayal, of survival, of kindness. People began joining the battle. Farmers, teachers, even ex-council soldiers. They remembered. The Sindel's dark move Vurak, the Sindel leader, had one more plan. He activated the Echo device, an ancient tech stolen during the last human war. It could erase memory. Forever. He pointed it at the Kalari battlefield. Let them forget again. The sky turned red. A wave of silence spread. Earth's soldiers began stumbling, forgetting names, orders. Some allies fell to their knees, crying, unable to recall why. They were fighting. Zorak collapsed. Commander Hale's voice cracked over the comms. We're losing their minds. Earth's secret weapon, Project Warden. Unleashed back on the flagship, General Kale gave the final order. Deploy Warden. In orbit, the black machine came alive. A glowing sphere rose into space. It pulsed once, then again. Then a massive wave of light swept through the system. Every being on Kalari, friend or enemy, was hit with one truth. Earth's final hours. The ignored call for help, the Council's silence, and what Earth had done next. Saving strangers, never seeking revenge, just truth. The memory flooded the galaxy. Even enemy soldiers stopped. Some dropped weapons, others screamed in guilt. The eye Echo device cracked under the weight of real memory. The Sindel flagship lost power, and in that silence came clarity. Zorak's stand on the ground. Zorak rose, gasping. He looked at the enemy line. Dozens of council troops stood frozen. He shouted, "Across the battlefield, you told us to forget. But now we remember, and we choose Earth." His troops roared. They surged forward. This time they were not fighting for survival. They were fighting for truth. The turning point, one by one, enemy commanders sent peace signals. Even a few council ships turned, realizing the lie they'd been part of. The Sindel were alone. Zorak screamed in rage. He activated his final protocol, self-destruct the flagship to create a black hole. But before he could, Earth's AI intercepted the code and shut it down. Earth had not only saved the memory, it had saved the galaxy from another war. Earth came back not with fire, but with truth. When the galaxy tried to silence its past, Earth remembered, and it made the stars remember too. The war is ending, but Earth is not done yet, because buried inside its last transmission is a memory that no one was ready to see. Opening scene. Galactic Council cracked. The great hall of the council lay in ruins. Its silver floors were blackened. The banners of the 5 races hung torn. Councillor Marvek, once proud leader, sat alone at the round table. Screens above him flickered with incoming calls. Worlds were demanding answers, all asking the same thing. Why did we abandon Earth? And deeper still, what else have you hidden? Marvek had no answer, because Earth had shown everything now, and trust was broken. Earth's last transmission, the forbidden archive. At the center of Earth's flagship, a countdown began. A voice echoed through the systems. Now playing, the forgotten memory, timestamp 0. The entire galaxy watched. Screens lit up, in ships, homes, battlefields, and they saw a child crying into a camera, Earth's skies on fire, alien fleets ignoring calls for help, silence, and then extinction. But the memory continued. Secret, meetings, council records, signed orders. Let Earth burn, too dangerous, too proud, too human. Every council race had voted to let Earth die. It hadn't been a mistake. It had been a choice. Gasps spread through the stars. Sobs followed. And then, rage. Worlds turned, entire planets turned against the old order. Allies who once feared Earth now stood beside it. The Sarn removed their council representative. The Ura released every file Earth had ever helped them collect. The Kalari broke their council taxes and declared full alliance with Earth, and in the underground resistance of Sintal, Aiboyab, cold enslaved moon, children painted Earth's flag on walls and wrote, "We remember who helped us." Commander Hale's speech. A new start. Commander Hale stood on a ruined world, speaking before a silent crowd of many species. His words were short. "We do not want your pity. We do not want revenge. We want truth." He paused, then added, "Earth was left to die. But we survived, not because we are better, but because we never stopped caring. The universe taught us pain, so we gave it kindness. Now we ask you, what will you give to each other?" Zorak's return. Home. Zorak walked into his old village where once he was mocked for speaking of Earth. Now children ran up to him holding makeshift Earth toys. His people bowed. One elder wept and whispered, "We forgot the wrong things." Zorak only nodded and replied, "Not anymore." General Kale's final move. Earth refuses power. Across the stars, people begged Earth to lead. They wanted a new council, with Earth at the center. But General Kale, scarred and silent, sent only one message. No thrones, no empires, no rulers. Only memory. We will build the archive of pain and hope, and give it freely to all. It would be a place where no story could be erased again. Every forgotten people, every silenced voice, every planet that was ignored, all of it. Remembered. The last threat. In the shadows, a few powerful old warlords prepared revenge. They believed Earth had humiliated them, but as they launched a stealth ship toward Earth, ready to strike, they found nothing. Earth's defenses were offline. No shields, no guns. Just a massive broadcast station and satellites filled with peaceful lights. Confused, they landed. No armies waited. Just a human child, sitting beside a machine labeled Memory Stream 1. What we learned the hard way. The child looked up and said, "You can destroy us again, but the truth will rise again. So what will you do this time?" The warlords didn't answer. They turned around and left.